And welcome to your third and final video. And this video links to something really special that we'll be giving you on Monday the 13th of July. When you join us in September, one of our key priorities is going to be reading and supporting your reading. When I read books, the characters really come to life. And when I've been reading this book here, one of the characters that turns out to be one of my favourites is a teacher. And that teacher is called Captain Hardcastle. I'm just going to read you a bit about him. Captain Hardcastle sported a moustache that was the same colour as his hair. And oh, what a moustache it was. A truly terrifying sight. A thick orange hedge that sprouted and flourished between his nose and his upper lip and ran clear across his face from the middle of one cheek to the middle of the other. But this was not one of those nail brush moustaches, all short and clipped and bristly, nor was it long and droopy in the Walrus style. Instead, it was a curled, most splendidly upward, all the way along, as though it had permanent wave put into it, or possibly curling tongs, heated in the mornings over a tiny flame of methylated spirits. The only other way he could have achieved this curling effect, we boys decided, was by prolonged upward brushing with a hard toothbrush in front of the looking glass every morning.
Hello, my name's Miss Hanson and I'm the head of Key Stage 3 English at Chichester High School. Really looking forward to seeing you all in September, but I'm sure like me, you're looking forward to having a bit of a summer break first, and I like nothing better than reading a good book. So having this for all of you to read as well and enjoy with us for when we come back in September is fantastic, because I remember reading it when I was your age, and some of the bits in here really stick out to me. One of them being the extract where Roald Dahl describes having his tonsils taken out, because this is the author Roald Dahl talking about his childhood. And the other bit that I really remember is where he talks about his holidays to Norway, which is going to link into some of the work that we ask you to do when you come and join us. He talks quite a lot about his school and starting school in this book, and that's something that you will notice, and it's a very different type of school to the one that you're coming to, but it's quite enjoyable to read about. And the other thing that I'm just going to let you have a little look at is that little booklet. So there'll be one of those coming to you as well, so that you can have a little bit of guidance as you read and make some notes about Norway to help you with the task that you're going to be doing when you start with us. So I really hope that you enjoy Reading Boy as much as I did, and I can't wait to talk to as many of you as possible about it when you come and join us as Year 7s. Have a safe summer.
Hello Year 6 and welcome to Chichester High School. My name is Mrs May. I am the Key Stage 3 lead for maths, which means that I take the work of Year 7, 8 and 9, and I support you and guide you through those few years. I'm really looking forward to meeting you in September and seeing how we progress. Now, we're doing today about the Reading Recovery Scheme, and in maths we do reading as well. As you can see from my board here, I've got lots of different articles about how maths is relevant within the real world. And you'll find also we do a lot of maths questions where you have to do a bit of reading. So reading is important across the whole curriculum, even in a subject where you think it's more about numbers. Now, I've been reading about Boy, Roald Dahl, and I loved Roald Dahl when I was little, especially Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But as a school at the moment, we're all reading Boy. Now, I absolutely love learning about how the school was a bit different a century ago when Roald Dahl was in there. And the chapter especially is about little Ellis and the boil. And in here, we're talking about what the school nurse was like. And she sounds a little bit of a horror with her school sick room. But actually, when you come to our school, you'll find that Mrs. Pierce over in welfare is really, really lovely. And you can actually find lots of her recipes at the moment on Facebook, which shows you just how kind she is. So I look forward to seeing you all. I really hope you enjoy reading this book, and I'll see you in September.
On the first day of my first term, I set out by taxi in the afternoon with my mother to catch the paddle steamer from Cardiff Docks to Weston-super-Mare. Every piece of clothing I wore was brand new and had my name on it. I wore black shoes, grey woolen stockings with blue turnovers, grey flannel shorts, a grey t-shirt, a red tie, a grey flannel blazer with the blue school crest on the breast pocket, and a grey school cap with the same crest just above the peak. Into the taxi that was taking us to the docks went my brand new trunk and my brand new tuck box, and both had R. Dull painted on them in black. A tuck box is a small pinewood trunk which is very strongly made, and no boy has ever gone as a boarder to any English prep school without one. It is his own secret storehouse, as secret as a lady's handbag, and there is an unwritten law that no other boy, no teacher, not even the headmaster himself has the right to pry into the contents of your tuck box. The owner has the key in his pocket, and that is where it stays. At St. Peter's, the tuck boxes were arranged shoulder to shoulder all round the four walls of the changing room, and your own tuck box stood directly below the peg on which you hung your games clothes. A tuck box, as the name implies, is a box in which you store your tuck. At prep school in those days, a parcel of tuck was sent once a week by anxious mothers to their ravenous little sons, and an average tuck box would probably contain at almost any time half a homemade currant cake, a packet of squashed fly biscuits, a couple of oranges, an apple, a banana, a pot of strawberry jam or Marmite, a bar of chocolate, a bag of licorice all sorts, a tin of Bassett's lemonade powder. An English school in those days was purely a money-making business, owned and operated by the headmaster. It suited him, therefore, to give the boys as little food as possible himself, and to encourage the parents in various cunning ways to feed their offspring by parcel post from home.
Hello, my name's Mr. Barclay. I'm Head of Geography and E-Learning. My favourite page in The Boy is page 69, all about his journey to Norway. Now, literacy and language is important in every subject, and as you can see here, we're always looking at using the correct key terms and words in geography. You might prefer reading on a tablet or an e-reader like I do, and so you'll find the school library has an extensive e-book library.
Hello, my name is Mr. Saunders. I'm the head of Key Stage 3 for Science, and my favourite part of The Boy is probably the great mouse plots, where Roald Dahl had quite a lot of mischief in his childhood, and certainly growing up I was very similar, although I never actually got the opportunity to put a mouse in someone's sweet jar, so maybe one day, who knows.
Open your mouth, the doctor said, speaking Norwegian. I refused. I thought he was going to do something to my teeth, and everything anyone had ever done to my teeth had been painful. It won't take 2 seconds, the doctor said. He spoke gently, and I was seduced by his voice. Like an ass, I opened my mouth. The tiny blade flashed into the bright light and disappeared into my mouth. It went high up into the roof of my mouth, and the hand that held the blade gave 4 or 5 very quick little twists, and the next moment, out of my mouth, into the basin came tumbling a whole mass of flesh and blood. I was too shocked and outraged to do anything but yelp. I was horrified by the huge red lumps that had fallen out of my mouth into the white basin, and my first thought was that the doctor had cut the hole out of the middle of my head. Those were your adenoids, I heard the doctor saying.
Welcome, Year Sixes. My name is Mrs. Reid and I'm Head of History at Chichester. And as I understand it, you're going to be getting this book to read over the summer, The Boy. Now, this book was one of my favourites to read at your age. It's got lots and lots of different exciting stories, but one of my favourites as a history teacher is him joining a company, Shell, and travelling around the world, and then him going off to the RAF. Okay, and if you're interested in those pages, please read page 213, 215. Looking forward to meeting you in September. Bye.
Hello, I'm just shelving a book in Chichester High School Library. This is one of over 5,000 fiction books that you'll be able to borrow when you come here. My name's Mrs. Mulkern, and it's my job to make sure you find the book for you, the one that you're going to enjoy. And I understand you're getting a copy of this book by Roald Dahl, Boy. It's excellent. It's a crazy story of his childhood and his time at school, which is so different to the way it is these days. But I thought I'd read you a little extract, which I like because it sort of explains how he thought about writing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The chapter's called Chocolates. And when he was at school, boys were sent samples of Cadbury's chocolates. Can you imagine? How lovely. And they were allowed to test them and say which ones they liked and they didn't like. So here we go. We were of a sensible age, between 13 and 18, and we knew intimately every chocolate bar in existence, from the milk flake to the lemon marshmallow. Quite obviously, our opinions on anything new would be very valuable. All of us entered into this game with great gusto, sitting in our studies, nibbling on each bar with the air of connoisseurs, giving our marks and making our comments. Too subtle for the common palate was one note I remember writing down. For me, the importance of all of this was that I began to realise that large chocolate companies actually did possess inventing rooms, and they took their inventing very seriously. Hope you enjoy it.
Year 6, I really hope you've enjoyed the videos we've made for you. We've enjoyed making them. We're going to enjoy even more having you as part of our community in September. Have a great summer, and I'll see you in September. Bye-bye.